Welcome to August the 11th. I'll start from 2017, work back to 2014, and take it from there. Some things should not happen, but they do. Kristina Keneally has a TV show on Sky Channel in Australia. Kristina is a former Premier of New South Wales for the Australian Labor Party and is Catholic and niece to highly lauded writer. Kristina is like Canada. She could give amazing insights into political process from an ethical viewpoint, not often explored. She is also erudite and thoughtful. But just as Canada has many advantages with the possibility of French cuisine, US know-how and UK government, instead, disappointingly, Canada has the US cuisine, British lethargy, and French-style government. Kristina offers no insights, but parrots ALP lines, often without thought. So in 2013, a plebiscite on same-sex marriage was good. But in 2017, a plebiscite on same-sex marriage was a waste of money. The only change being an ALP position based on opposition to conservatives. Sky are wasting their time and their viewers' time by letting this mouthpiece for activism have more time than real commentators. Mostly my historical posts start explaining a battle, but this one is different. It involves a historical factoid that was probably not considered by anyone on the day or many years or generations after. It is related to the Mayan calendar and the calendar of several of the Mesoamerican cultures. They were based on an 18-digit number system, thumbs being opposable, and if one counts to the start, today is the anniversary of the beginning of time, 3114 BC according to Armenian tradition. 2492 BC, Hake beat Bel. Bel was written off in the Bible as Baal. Today is a day in 355 Claudius Silvanus is said to have declared himself Caesar. Silvanus was a Roman governor of Gaul and had successful suppressed raiding parties from across the Rhine which were hurting Roman prestige. Roman Emperor Constantius, it might have been pleased, but his courtiers set up an intriguing suggesting Silvanus was planning to seize Rome. It may well be the case Silvanus never knew of the supposed plot. Constantius summonsed him, and when Silvanus was praying at a church, he was dragged out and hacked to death. September the 7th, 355. Odoacer is considered the first king of Italy. Not much is known of the birth of King Odoacer, but he may have been the son of an ambassador for Attila. He was Arian Christian when most of Rome was Orthodox. Theodoric the Great was an Ostrogoth who had been raised as a hostage in Constantinople and given a privileged education. Theodoric was born the year Ostrogoths overthrew the Hun. His father was a tribal leader, and when he died in 473, Theodoric ruled well and united the Ostrogoths in 484 with the German Ostrogoth power base. Theodoric fought Odoacer and defeated him in the battle on this day in 490, taking Italy after the death of Odoacer in 493. The Battle of Duplin Moor in 1332 was between the regent for the Scottish King David II and Edward Balliol, a grandchild of the widow of the English King John. Edward III of England used Balliol as a puppet. Balliol defeated the regent on this day while the child David was in France, and Balliol had himself crowned king at Scone, given authority to Edward III for a pension. But the Scots had other ideas. Not much is known about Francis Light, not even who his dad was, but the English soldier daringly founded and managed the British colony of Penang in Malaysia on this day in 1786. A son, Colonel William Light, was Foundational Surveyor General of South Australia, choosing the site for Adelaide. The Peninsular War was glorious for Arthur Wellesley, and is an example of fighting for national liberation and guerrilla warfare, the first of its type in Europe. It meant Great Britain started income tax to pay for their troops. The Spanish and Portuguese fought to liberate themselves from France. In 1812, on this day at the Battle of Mahahonda, the Portuguese cavalry did not acquit themselves well in a drawn encounter. Their commander suggested to Wellesley that they in future would walk behind their horses until they acquitted themselves well. Wellesley felt it was better to never use them again. In 1929, Babe Ruth made history, scoring the 500th home run of his career. He would play until 35 and scored 714 in total, with a batting average of a phenomenal .0.342 and an ERA of 2.28. He wasn't a noted thinker, but a magnificent player. As great as Ruth was as a bat, Hedy Lamarr was as a person. The Austrian-born actress was beautiful, and at only 18 years old was married to an Austrian army industrialist and star of a movie, Ecstasy. A few nude scenes in Ecstasy and an orgasm expression made her famous. As wife to the industrialist in 1933, she went to dinner parties with Adolf Hitler and Mussolini, some lavishly held at her own home. She fled her husband to Paris, then London, and went to Hollywood. In 1942, on this day, she got a patent for technology which helped missiles home despite jamming. Frequency hopping spread-spectrum technology underpins Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. She was a pretty face in the 30s and 40s, but her beautiful mind lives on long after she passed. In 1947, the founding father of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, gave a speech. He spoke of his hope for Pakistan with religious freedom, rule of law, and equality for all. Maybe Cassius Clay chose his name from that figure. It was a worthy dream for any nation, and sadly not part of modern Pakistan.